Hello, this is Hassan Satar and this video is all about manufacturing accounts. So before this that you begin to watch this video, it is strongly recommended that you should watch this video on laptop or on any desktop PC rather than on cell phone. The reason behind it is that the figures or the writing which I'll be using, it will be much better and much more visible if you are on a bigger screen rather than off cell phone. Okay, so today what we are going to do is, or what we are going to start, or with what we are going to start is manufacturing accounts. Manufacturing accounts. So before this, I begin with that what is this, how we do make accounts, and blah bitty blah bitty blah blah blah. I'm going to ask few questions from you that how many types of business are there. I'm doing a business, that there are few broader categories. You may have studied in your geography that generally there are three sectors. Obviously there you have studied with the name of secondary, primary and tertiary. Over here we'll be talking in the typical accounting terminologies. A business could be of trading, it could be of service sector, and it could be of manufacturing. Now, in this video, we'll be talking some basic things about manufacturing. Now, who is a manufacturer? The question arises, who is a manufacturer? Anyone who produces who produces things. Now, produces things or products or whatever the utilities you may consider. Now the question may arises that what is the difference between a manufacturer or a trader in their accounts? How are their accounts different? You see class, it's very easy. If I'm a trader, for example, I'm a trader and I purchase this pen for $10, and then it's very easy for me to calculate my profit and loss. The cost of the pen is $10 and I'm going to sell it for $15, and $5 is my gross profit. But what if I am manufacturing this pen? Now you see there are so many costs attached to this pen. The cap, the below cover, then the pen in itself, then it's the nib, then the ink bottle, and then obviously who is going to attach all these things. There's a huge amount of engineering behind this thing. And by the way, do you know what is the story behind the pen? Okay, we'll be discussing that on some other day. Now back to topic, we can talk about several other things. Hand sanitizers, you see, now they are very common product we use. uh, what is this? This is a hand moisturizing cream. Now you see, if I'm a trader, I'll purchase this cream for, let's say, $20, and I'm going to sell it for $30. $10 is my profit, but gross profit. But if I'm a manufacturer, I need to consider so many costs. For example, the packing. The tube is a different thing, the cap is a different thing, and the cap with this functionality is a different thing. Then there is a then there is a writing on the bottle or the tube, and then the coloring, then obviously the cream itself. Okay, now as I'm going to use it as well. Anyhow, so coming towards the manufacturing account, it is difficult for a manufacturer to calculate the cost. For a trader, it's easy. It's simply the cost of purchases. But for a manufacturer, there are so many costs. There are so many costs. He need to consider all of those costs. Now, what type of costs we are talking about? I'll give you some examples. You see, there is a material, there is labor, there is rent, there is insurance, there is heat and light. Heat and light. And the list may continue. We have discussed these things in sole traders. We have discussed a lot of expenses. Generally, the expenses are categorized in two types. Generally, the expenses are categorized into two types. One are direct costs, and the other one is indirect cost. Direct costs and indirect costs. Now, when we talk about direct cost, what are the direct costs? Direct costs are those costs, these are the those costs which are directly attached to the product. Directly attached to the product means the cap of this pen, the cost of this pen. This cost is directly attached to this pen, the manufacturing of this pen. We can talk about the labor who is combining all these things into this masterpiece. The wage paid to that labor will be considered as direct cost. But there are other expenses which cannot be directly attached to the product. For example, you cannot attach the cost of rent. For example, how you cannot attach the cost of rent? There's the rent of $10,000, or let's say $1,000, and how many pens do you make? Do you make one pen, two pen, three pen, four pen, or is the cost of rent directly going to what do we say, increase or decrease the productivity or the production of pen? Or can you identify that what amount of rent is involved in this pen? Now that this is all, such costs are considered as indirect cost. So at your level, generally you will be encountering two types of cost, two type of direct costs. One is direct material and the other one is direct labor. Direct material and direct labor. The rest of the costs, you may consider them as indirect costs, or they are often known as factory overheads. They are often known as factory overheads. So, class, this was the basic overview of manufacturing account. Thank you. Have a good day.